story with you. I'm going to read right from my script as I go through some slides on the screens there. So if you might follow along in the pictures as you hear my voice telling a story about a trip that I had the opportunity to make in 2010. I traveled to Haiti with a group coordinated by Meals from the Heartland. During our one-week trip, we toured the capital city, Port-au-Prince, and visited two missions, one near the epicenter in a town devastated by the earthquake, and the other in a more rural area on the northern plateau. With my travel partners, I saw firsthand the unbelievable living conditions of 9 million fellow men and women. This country spans less than 20% of the area of the state of Iowa and has 3 times the number of people. While it is common for Americans to throw away food at the end of a meal, the average Haitian has access to approximately 250 calories per day, with often little nutritional value. Soup kitchens are feeding tens of thousands of people per day. Hospitals are serving recovering patients only 1 meal per day. A school outside of Pignon, Haiti, was pleased to tell us that they are now able to serve their students 1 meal every other day. Access to the most basic needs for healthy living conditions like clean water and sewage removal are non-existent for the vast majority of Haitians. They resort to polluted streams for survival. Where clean well water can be found, it must be transported by foot. Today, I want to inspire your heart to be the change you want to see in this world, to intentionally and thoughtfully work to know who you are, that you are worthy of leading change, and for you to find the courage to act. To provide you a vision for inspiration and perseverance, I want to introduce you to someone that I met in Haiti. This is Maxino. He was 14 years old at the time, and he still lives outside Pignon in a rural area on the northern plateau. Everyone that meets Maxino falls in love with him. He is filled with grace and has the most genuine smile. Maxino has never walked a day in his life until Larry Madol, the gentleman in the yellow shirt, got him a wheelchair. Maxino scooted himself around on his knees. Until just recently, when Larry and his colleagues built him a very humble house, the pile of what looks like trash to us was the dwelling that he, his uncle, and cousins lived in. Maxino and his family averaged less than 1 meal a day. Larry discovered Maxino while his mission was building a hut to dry mangoes. The work site was about 1/4 mile away from where Maxino lived. Maxino would drag himself on his knees all the way down the dirt road to see what the noise was all about. To see Maxino's authentic warmth and smile is life-changing. He shares the most Christ-like love I've ever witnessed. He's touched my soul, and I hope in some way that he might touch yours. Each of us in this room has been given so much, and it is up to us as individuals and a group to do something meaningful and impactful with our lives. So as I ask myself whether it's important to make a difference or even care about making a difference in this world, I remember that each one of us is designed for a unique purpose. I think about Maxino, now a 17-year-old boy who's unable to walk and spending his life literally on his knees. He does not have regular access to food or water, has no access to formal education. This little boy's genuine heart makes him a leader. He is leading people daily to a deeper sense of joy, gratitude, and love. Maxino does not live at the corner of Martin Luther King and Clark Street, but somebody else in need does. I share this story with you because this young man has the most unbelievable human spirit I've ever been close to. It's the same spirit that's inside you and me. It's the same spirit that's inside some young boy on the corner of MLK and Clark. And all it takes is for somebody to believe that they're worthy. For somebody to give them an opportunity to see a different life. I know this from personal experience. Many people, when they read my bio or they meet me today, they're surprised to learn that I was a high school dropout. Thankful for one of my teachers, I was put into a work-oriented curriculum program and finished high school. I would never have finished high school if Nancy Kemp had not reached out to me and seen something in me that I couldn't see for myself. So thanks to Nancy Kemp, I finished high school, but at that time I was 16 years old, living with my 23-year-old drug-dealing boyfriend. My vision for the future, not very bright. Thankfully, I had somebody in the middle of the night put a knife to my throat and tell me that his friend had a gun to my boyfriend's head, and he was going to blow his brains out unless I showed him where the drugs were. It's what I needed to slap me hard enough to know that what I was doing was not going to have a good ending. Now, thankfully, both he and I survived that night, but that was the last night that I was going to live in that surrounding. And thankfully, I had a place to go. Most young people that you work with don't have another place to go. I took off in my car in the middle of the night and I moved from Maryland to Texas, where I had family that would take me in. And then I had a grandmother get a hold of me. She saw something in me I couldn't see for myself. I swore as I drove away from Maryland in the middle of the night with nobody knowing but my immediate family. Drove away from everything I knew. I swore on my life that I would never hang around people like that. I wouldn't be like that. I wouldn't be involved with drugs and alcohol anymore. After many, many years, I started drinking when I was 12 years old. I was 19 at the time. I swore I would not go to that place. I had people that were going to believe in me and help me go to a different place. It took me 3 months to find the people that I left. And the reason I left, I found those people again, is because I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. My cousins, my aunt and uncle introduced me to people that were not like me. People that were seeking their education, that were living good, clean lives, that were making good decisions. They introduced me to those people, but I didn't fit in. And very quietly, very secretly, I found the people I left because it's all I knew. And thank God, somewhere along the way, somebody kept pulling me out of that space. My grandmother was the next person to step in and pull me out. She literally took me and enrolled me at the University of Texas, El Paso. She paid off my car, paid my first semester tuition, my first year room and board, and she told me, you better kick some butt because I can't afford to do anything else. And so I did, because I was scared to let her down. And I wanted to change my life, but I didn't know how. And so thankfully I started on the path of higher education, and then I got married to an alcoholic between my sophomore and junior year. I could not break away. I didn't know how emotionally to break away from what pulls me down. As you work with people and you get frustrated that they have opportunity, that they're not changing their life, let me tell you, it's hard. It's hard. First you have to want it, but wanting it's not enough. Wanting it is not enough. On the inside, you just don't feel worthy. I wasn't worthy until I had to get slapped down again. And thank God I got divorced the same week I graduated from college and could start something new again. And had somebody there waiting to pull me out and start me somewhere else. I got offered an opportunity to do graduate work.